Hello, welcome back. I'm Noreen Burke, owner of Call Clutter Fairy Home Organizing, and this is my YouTube channel, The Crafty Organizer. If you're watching today's video, then you've probably already been watching the project that I've been working on, which is completely redoing my entire garage. My garage is broken into 4 sections. I use the area that I'm sitting in right here as the majority of the area, which is for my craft room, my studio, and my home office for my business. And then the other 3 areas are broken into my laundry area, my workspace for my power tools and woodworking, and the very last section is my storage area. So the total amount of time that I spent on this was 27 hours. I can't even believe it, because when I go to give bids for clients, I can usually get a garage that is wall to wall, top to bottom, filled with boxes, max 20 hours. And it's amazing to me that my garage wasn't that bad and it took me 27 hours. Now, again, I didn't get to have my crew with me. Normally, if we were tackling a project like this from a business standpoint, we would have emptied everything out and been categorizing as we were going. But I knew I was going to be doing this project by myself. It was a lot more daunting looking at all of these items that were mine because I'm emotionally attached to them. So I really decided to tackle this the same way I recommend you at home to tackle it, which is just do little sections, little bits, and then adjust as you have to integrate more things. So I actually had a lot of fun doing this. I'm thrilled with the end result, and I'm kind of sad that it's done because I really did have a good time going through all of these things and perfecting the systems. So I have a huge pile of donations. Part of these are some leftovers that I had from clients right before we got kind of put down on lockdown and the donation facilities closed down, so that's going to be a problem. I've covered them with a tarp. I've got what I can in plastic bins and storage things so that they don't get ruined from the rain and bugs or anything like that. But depending upon how long this lockdown goes, I might get stuck doing something different with those things. But for right now, I have them outside, protected. Hopefully they'll be in good shape to donate when this is all over with. So let's get into the tour. And as an organizer, I could not be more mortified that this is my existence. But I think having a garage like this is truly what helps me to empathize and identify as I'm working with clients. All right, I'm trying to give you the best perspective. It ended up being a cold, rainy day today, so the lighting is really strange. But here is that area that I love so much right outside of my garage. And you can see there's the entrance to my garage. And this is my laundry area. These are the storage racks and bookcases that start to carve out what has become the quadrants of my garage. And then this area right here, I'm going to walk into it, is my studio where I do the YouTube videos. It's my office, it's my craft area, it's my favorite space. So this is where I spend so much of my time. And I'm going to try and give you, I know I keep showing you these floor plans, but here's perspective. So there is my Noreen's Mercantile sign. So that area over there is the workbench. Right on the other side of here, I doubt that I'll be able to see, but right over there on the other side of that is the laundry space. And then this whole back corner, there's the Christmas stuff, is the storage space. So these bookcases truly are making what becomes my craft room. So these bookcases are basically just standing in the middle of the garage, but because of the way they're positioned and angled and connected together, they create the perfect craft room space. Now, I had done a complete tour of my office a while back, but if you're interested in me going through the specifics of what I've done and how I've organized things, please let me know in the comments below. But today I'm basically just showing you how the whole garage is set up and organized. So I'm just going to come in to show you once again. So when I'm sitting at my little table here and I am either recording, there's my lights for recording. This is my view out. Now, Can you see how long that driveway is and where the gate is to get into the garage? This is why I don't use it for my car. So coming out, the MDF wall that's here is just anchored. I have two big bolts that are into the wall, and I have those anchored into the back of the wire stainless steel shelf that I have, and on the other side of that are my supplies. So this once again just kind of gives me a pretty space. I have the other set of my Chase lounge in here, and I sit here pretty often and just read, or I'll watch a show on the computer. So this is my she cave. But where the MDF ends, there is about 16 to 18 inches where there's a path. So if I did have the door closed, I could still walk through and get to the other area of the laundry room, which is where we're going right now. To recap, you have seen the laundry area now, and it is cute. I like it. It inspires me to actually get some laundry done. So if you're just catching this one for the tour, this is an unfinished garage, and I'm a renter, and I'm on a severe budget, and we're home for the quarantine, so I couldn't get supplies anyway. So everything I had to do with this project was restricted to what I had on hand. So I had wrapping paper, and it was 16 feet long, and I just put 2 strips along that back wall. I had spray paint, so I spray painted some of the white things. I had contact paper, and I recovered what I could. And I created this really cute functional laundry space. So I'm beyond happy with that. I am a professional organizer, so I have tons of organizing supplies on hand, but they were kind of everywhere, so I took the time to organize that. So this is now an accessible place for me to have my supplies when I do an organizing job. You've seen this gift wrapping organizer before, but if you haven't, I will put a link to it in the description below, but there is that. But here's where I start to get geeky, stupid excited. This is my little workshop. Oh my gosh, I'm over the moon. The person who rented here before was an architect, and they worked out of their home. So they had drywalled just the corner, and they had this big giant architect cabinet where they could put plans and large drawings inside. And they left it here when they moved out, and I've never known what to do with it because it is insanely heavy and really large to move out, and it was too large for me to even donate, so it's just been sitting here. But now it's a functional work desk for me, and I'll show you what I did inside the drawers soon. I put up this pegboard, which I'm very happy with. Now I do have this in my Amazon shop below, and I like it a lot. The only thing I will say now that I've had it for a couple of days is the pegs come out a little bit easily. So if you're reaching something quickly, the peg comes right out, and I'm not sure why. So if you get one of these, what I would recommend, because this is what I'm going to do, is just put a little bit of hot glue in the position once you know that's where you want it. The hot glue will still release with a little bit of pressure, but for just the simple daily removal and rehanging of things, it will allow the peg to stay in place. So I'm going to come through and just put a tiny dab of hot glue on all of these. I've been using it for a while now, so I'm pretty sure this is the placement I want to keep for everything, but I'm really happy with the pegboard. And the other sad thing is it comes with a frame that went around it, and I don't know if you can see, I lost the bottom piece here. So it looks like it's misshapen, but that was just me. I lost the piece, which was unfortunate. So these 4 quads can slide into one another. So I could have made a great big square. I could have flipped them on their end and made a very long, skinny pegboard that went across, or I could have used the 4 pieces in different places. So I'm happy with this. I like the versatility. It was ridiculously easy to install. The only downside that I have is the pegs are a little bit loose in there, but this is my first pegboard. Maybe that's a standard thing with pegboards. So let me know in the comments below if you do have a pegboard and struggle with that. If you haven't seen the video already where I made the Noreen's Mercantile, that's also in the description below. But I took a 99-cent store clock and just covered it with some different scrapbook paper and just did the numbers at a weird random thing, because I had this little sign that said, read the directions and directly you will be directed in the right direction, from Alice in Wonderland. And I thought that was funny, so I wanted something whimsical to kind of match it. I also recreated a sign that I saw on the internet. I had some scrap wood and I had these little brackets that I had gotten from the Dollar Tree a long time ago. They are a 2-pack for $1, so 50 cents a bracket. So I was able to put that in. Eventually, once we're able to get back out, I will go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get some stain to stain that little shelf. But for right now, it's fine. And I just took some decor that I had on hand and am using that. So inside of my drawers, and again, when this clicked with me, you guys, I did a happy dance. This first drawer are just my wood scraps. I have been struggling trying to figure out how to store them so that they don't fall over. I didn't want them above my head because, again, I didn't know of a way. I was trying to think of putting big brackets up on the wall there and having the wood, but that means getting a ladder out every time I want the scraps and the potential for them falling on my head. And when this finally came to me, my goodness, what an amazing idea. It's just deep enough so that these little 1x1s fit in here and all of my flat scraps fit in here. So whenever I need a little piece of wood, I can just come straight to this drawer and I've got them. And then I went into the next drawer, and we have a lot of parties and I'm always trying to have the kids get together and have friends over. So I think I showed you this before. We have a lot of these food containers and I use them for sorting, for organizing. We wash them and reuse them, and I don't feel guilty about throwing them away after a few uses. So these fit perfectly in this drawer. And because the drawers are so deep, I have empty ones in the back that are just to keep things from sliding all the way back. So I can get really aggressive with this drawer and nothing's gonna move out of place. So I'm thrilled with this drawer. If the kids wanna have a party, everything's easy to get to. The next one, I just organized all of my gift bags so that if somebody's going to a party or something, I've got all of my wrapping stuff right here. It just makes sense to have this, and I have the perfect flat surface to get things ready for any party. This drawer is broken. And as you can see, this is out of alignment and I could not ever get it lined back up again. So instead of always forgetting, hey, what's in that drawer? I literally marked it broken drawer. And then I have the tissue paper. So I've just got tissue papers in here for, again, when we're doing the gift bags. And then this one is empty, so I just left it blank. This cute little cabinet I think I've talked about before as well. This was a scrapbooking cabinet, and I did use it for a very long time. But as my scrapbooking and paper crafting style evolved, I went more digital. This was just taking up too much space in my craft room, so I eventually changed it into a toolbox. So I've got them all labeled, but now I've got my tools lined out in here, and I think I've shown you this before. So I can just grab what I need. I love this and that drawer where I literally just have makeshift things, hardware. So this is a great spot for my tools next to where I'm working. And then I have my big chop saw over here. So the amazing thing about this cabinet, and I just got lucky, is it is on wheels. So I can roll it to the saw, or I can have it flipped around the other way if I'm working at the little table over here and have my tools totally accessible. So the fact that this fit right there. Now let's talk about these. I appreciated so much that you guys kept mentioning, hey, if you had put it on the wall, you would never have been able to reach it. And that is something I was worried about. I was going to have one mounted here and the other one mounted here so that I could reach them. But when I couldn't find a way to hoist them up and hold them in place and attach them to the wall, I finally gave up and decided to stack them. And let me tell you, this was another little happy accident, as Bob Ross would say. I've got more of those food containers,
and I've just got them subdivided by those cute little shelf racks that you get at the Dollar Tree. And the reason I did that is so that if I do need to pull one of these out, I could just slide the other one out of the way and still get access to it without disturbing everything that's underneath it. But they fit very nicely in here. I've got them labeled so that whatever I need, I can just pull out like little drawers. So these are the extra smalls that don't fit in my toolbox or that I actually get access to more often. I have all my spray paint, and then I have the power tools that I use most often up above. I think you saw these when I did my spring DIY crafts. These were 49 cents for a pack of, I think, 5 at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just using them to hold my gloves in place so that I can always find them and they don't get little buggies in them. And then down in this one, I have my paint solvents, my cleaning supplies, extra paint. These are the brushes and little rollers and things like that. And then these are my vintage power tools, which I just can't seem to let go of. I love them. And then some of the drill bits and things that go into it. So this is not the cabinet I will go into very often, which is why when this is slid in front of it, it's almost perfect because I can still get access to the top. So this is my workbench area, and like I said, I am just over the moon excited for it. And then this is the other amazing thing about what happened. So I talked to you guys about how I was going to get all of the holiday stuff up above and get memory stuff over on that back side. So there is no need for me to ever go back over here. This is all just memory things. So someday, if I have some grandkids or a niece or nephew or somebody that wants the little pink kitchen, I can pull it out. But I'm not going to be pulling that out either until we move or until somebody has a baby. So those are fine where they're at. The fans I'll probably be pulling into the house in the summertime. So as much as I'd like those elsewhere, those are fine there. Getting the bikes up, all we have to do is wheel them in and literally just pop a wheelie on the bike and it goes right onto the hook. As you can see, 2 of the bikes have the handlebars up top and 1 of the bikes have the handlebar at the bottom so that they nest together better. Otherwise, I would have had to go another 3 feet wide just to fit all the bikes in. So this is a great solution. Then over here, I have fall and Halloween costumes. And then these are things that we do access a little bit more often. I have extra bed linens over here in this bin. And then my kids still actually play with Legos every once in a while. And this is a chase lounge that I have a mate to in my office area. And I cannot bring myself to get rid of it. I can't. So I'm really hoping someday my space will grow on its own and I can pull it out and have it. But in the meantime, it's tucked away, it's safe, and it's still allowing us to have access to things. Extra chairs if we ever have a party, which I don't, but I still have them. These will both come in the house also when it's summertime. This is one of our industrial fans and a portable air conditioner. I have quick and easy access to my shop vac, which makes me so happy. 2x4 scraps, and then I have more lumber. So anytime I'm deciding I want to build a shelf, a box, or just play with wood, it's all neat and organized and right here. And the amazing thing is I don't know if you can tell, but this space is huge. This is a standard 2-car garage. So it's amazing to me how much space we have in here. So I have all of this large storage space back here. And then if I come kind of to the middle, my workbench area is large. And the sun is shining really brightly right now, so I can't show the other direction, but I'm not sad about my laundry space. I think that's sufficiently large. And you've seen my office, which takes up, here's the back side of 2 of my bookcases. And then these are the bookcases that back me when I'm speaking on the videos, on the YouTube videos. These command strips that hold brooms are wonderful. So when you pull it out, it pops open. And when you push it back in, it actually grabs it. So these are great But here's something that I did because I didn't have any place to put my step stool. So it's still resting on the ground, but I didn't want it angled out and be a tripping hazard. So I placed this at the perfect height so that all I have to do is put the step stool at the base of the bookcase here, the back of the bookcase, and then when I push it back in, it grabs it and holds it in place against the bookshelf so that no one's going to trip over it. So if you're struggling with space and you have an issue with where do I put a step stool, get one of the command hooks, make sure that your handle isn't bigger than what the capacity is for it, and instead of hanging it on there, allow it to lean against a wall and use the command hook to grab it and keep it in place. So the backs of these bookcases are a thin plywood, so I was able to attach some things to that and make some good storage space out of those. And so many of you had the great suggestion, which is exactly what I was planning on doing as soon as we're able to go shopping again. And I'm going to get plywood and do the exact same thing to the back of these so that I could put some lightweight hooks or shelves for just lightweight things and use this storage as well. This is such great real estate and I'm super sad that I can't use it right now, but I'm definitely going to convert it once I'm able to, and I will bring you along for that. Super happy with how this turned out. Oh, the last thing I didn't get to show you, and I'm not sure if I can because of the sun. I got all of my extra crafting and decor items here on this shelf. Oh, the sun. So here's the decor pieces that I bring in and out all of the time, and I change things around. So I've got those neat in here, and I can just grab them when I want them. And then here are my overflow things that I've bought or upcycled for when I want to make signs. So I've just got those neatly organized there. Now, a couple of you mentioned, why did I add my folding table in the back? I don't use this folding table very often, maybe once a year, and that's when we do the gingerbread party for my kids at Christmas time. I've already tried it. I can just slide it out and use it. Likewise, there's a plug there, but I'm not using that plug very often. If I needed to get to it, I could, but strangely, there's another plug right there. I also have a plug right there, and because this was the workbench, I had a tiny bit of extra space right here, just the way the workbench lined up with these cabinets. So I installed a power strip right here that I have easy access to. It's out of the way, it's protected, so I have plenty of electrical outlets. Oh, and there's another one here on the wall, and then I added one here so that I would have a way to safely turn on and off my light when I'm working. So I am not shy on electrical outlets in this garage. That is one thing that whichever tenant was here before me did a great job of. Oh, there's one up there too. So no, I'm not worried about blocking that one electrical outlet because I have plenty. So that's my garage, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the process with me. I loved having you along. It gave me somebody to talk to and be excited about each phase that I completed. And I just couldn't be happier. So I'm looking forward to doing tons of crafts and projects here. Bring you along with me as I do them. But this is it. She's all done. You guys, thank you so much for going on the journey with me. I loved reading your comments. You guys had some great suggestions. As you could see, a lot of the suggestions you came up with were spot on for what I'm going to be doing once I'm able to go out to stores again and buy supplies that I needed. But this was an interesting thinking out of the box project because I really had to use what I had on hand. And if I didn't have something that I needed, I had to be really creative and find a workaround to use what I had on hand. So it was a good challenge for me and I really enjoyed it. So thank you again. Please make sure you liked this video. If this is the first time you are watching, I do have the entire playlist in the description area below, so make sure you click that link and you can watch the entire process. But thank you so much. I will see you on the next video, which is in 2 days. Bye.
you.